Session with Georgia Congressman Buddy Carter. Congressman, nice to see you. Mr. Romney refers to his wing of your party as the, quote, wise part of the Republican Party. He's referring to Republicans who put caving to Democrats, above their constituents at the top priority there. What is your response to Mr. Romney's evaluation of your political party, sir?
Well, I certainly don't agree with him, but at the same time, we thank Senator Romney for his years of service. I admire anyone who serves at the public level, and certainly admire him for doing that. But I have to tell you that I am very excited to have a true conservative in that seat. And I think that there are some good choices in Utah, certainly with the congressional delegation, good friends who I think would make excellent senators and bring more of the conservative values of the Republican Party into the Senate than what Mitt Romney did.
Yeah, a principled constitutional conservative would be a refreshing change. The Biden family facing a slew of legal troubles in the meantime, Congressman. Hunter Biden finally indicted on a gun charge. Meantime, Joe Biden is facing an impeachment inquiry. Congressman Comer revealing that he's now working towards pursuing personal and business records from Hunter and James Biden. Yet some Republicans out there insist there is just no evidence that Joe Biden did anything wrong. Is that point of view accurate or sustainable, Congressman?
No, it is neither accurate nor sustainable. What we have discovered through the efforts of the Oversight Committee under the leadership of Jamie Comer, of the Judiciary under Jim Jordan, and Ways and Means under Jason Smith, we've been presented with enough evidence that the Speaker has decided to start an inquiry, and I applaud him for that. That's what should happen. Look, starting an inquiry makes perfect sense. It's evidence-based. It's logical, and it's constitutionally required. We have a responsibility in Congress to research this. We have a responsibility in Congress to rid our government of corruption. And the Biden family is one of the most corrupt families to ever occupy the White House. And we know that now, thanks to the work of these committees. And this will come out in the inquiry.
Well, even though the Republican National Committee disagrees, one of the most accurate polling services in the country is Rasmussen. And I wanted to ask you about one of the recent polls they put out, Congressman. 70% want term limits for Congress. This follows 81-year-old leader Mitch McConnell, having his string of mental freezes this summer. And, of course, Senator Dianne Feinstein having to hand power of attorney over to her daughter, but refusing to step down. Somebody's making decisions for the senator. Just don't know who. Is there a majority in Congress, sir, in your opinion, with the integrity enough to pass term limits like we have for presidents of these United States?
Well, I've always said, look, I'm perfectly willing to abide by term limits as long as everyone has to abide by it. I don't want to self-impose it. I don't want to have to compete for a chairmanship against someone who doesn't have a self-imposed term limit, and all of a sudden I've got to go because I have a self-imposed term limit. But there's something very important here that we need to understand. If we are going to have term limits for elected officials, you sure better have term limits for bureaucrats. The most frustrating experience that I've had as a member of Congress has been dealing with the bureaucracy, dealing with the bureaucrats who are in office, entrenched, and trying to interpret legislative intent. I don't need them to interpret my legislative intent. I make it perfectly clear what I intend. And that is the most frustrating part. So term limits for elected officials, fine. But let's have them for bureaucrats as well.
Exactly. Permanent Washington must have term limits as well, so we can get some new blood in there, because that attitude, Congressman, that, well, congressmen and congresswomen come and go, but permanent Washington is always here, that has to leave this country. Congressman Buddy Carter, always appreciate the visit, sir. Thank you.